Hi, my name is Stephen McGee and I'm the author of Toxic Electricity, and we're here to review the growth of my garden. And it is June 21st 2013 today, and as you can see, my garden is now growing very well in this area, and this climber has always done very well down the side of the house. But one of the problems that I've had as we come down here that you'll see is that there appears to be wireless radiation fields that appear to get quite strong in this area. So you can see that the climbers are dense down here, but we've got the identical climbers all along this wall, and they struggle like crazy. And I believe that's because of a cell phone tower that is about 600 to 700 meters over that way. So the wireless radiation fields appear to get very high in this part of the garden, and the climbers really struggle. And you certainly don't get the density of the growth that you get down there. And it's been that way ever since I put the climbing plants in. So this one seems to be doing a little bit better this year. The wireless fields are much lower this year because I took out of service all of my wireless products, and I noticed a very big difference in the garden after I did that. And what I found very interesting was this was the first year that this peach tree actually produced peaches. So it's been in my garden for several years and has never produced fruit. It always would drop them. But this year it produced fruit, and they were duly eaten by the birds. So there's another tree that's actually been producing fruit. We're going to take a look at that in a little bit. But we can see that our plant here has actually put on some vertical growth, and it's doing quite well, as is this one. This one wouldn't really grow. It's the same age, believe it or not, as this one. This one's twice the size. So this one was really getting nuked by my wireless devices and wouldn't grow. It's actually now growing much better now that I've taken my wireless devices out of service. So over here we have the smoke detector experiment. So this cactus has 6 americium ionizing household smoke detectors at its base, and we're waiting to see if the radiation out of those smoke detectors is going to affect it. And right now there doesn't seem to be any effect occurring on the cactus, but that may change later in the year. Over here we have the hoop skirt experiment. So this tree has been grown in what the ladies used to wear in the 1800s, and this is a hoop skirt frame. And the ladies in the 1800s who were wearing these were showing very strange health conditions that were called female hysteria. So we actually have the hoop skirt on the tree, and this year we're running it held together with strings so the hoops are insulated from each other. Next year we're going to change these strings out for steel and connect the hoop skirt together as a big antenna system, and we're going to see how that affects the growth of the tree. But right now they're both about the same height, and I'm not really seeing any real differences at this point. But again, we had a very hot spring this year, and things got hot in Tucson about a month earlier than normal. So that's most definitely had an effect on the plants. So this is a plant that I've been growing. It's a Dieffenbachia. And the previous plants that I used to put in this location used to die because of a wireless sensor up there. What would happen is they wouldn't actually die. They would show retarded growth, and they would get very, very small leaves, tiny leaves on them instead of the full-size pattern leaves. So I'm now growing this to see if it's going to exhibit the same behavior or whether it's going to grow with its normal patterning. And this is a new leaf, and as you can see, it's got the patterning in. So over here we actually have a Dieffenbachia actually being grown in chicken wire. And the reason why we're doing that is this is a Faraday cage, and I'm keen to see if the Faraday cage is going to affect how it grows, as my home is made out of chicken wire because I have stucco. So behind that plaster stucco is chicken wire mesh like this, and I'm interested to see if it's having any kind of electromagnetic shielding properties on the occupants of the home. So that's what this experiment is about. So this little bush here was showing stress over the years, and it's a little bit too early in the season for this bush to know whether it's growing any differently to what it was last year. So we're going to have to wait till later in the year to review this. But one of the things that I've noticed is my trees are growing much better in the back garden since I took my wireless devices out of service. So these are putting on much more growth, which is good. And we have a similar tree over here, which is also exhibiting much better growth rates compared to last year. It's actually looking much healthier. So there's definitely something going on with these wireless devices that affect plant growth. And talking about fruits, we can see that we have a pomegranate. So this is the first year any fruit tree in my garden has actually borne fruits. So it appears that the wireless radiation was actually making the trees sterile, which is quite concerning. So let's take a little look down the side of the home, and we can see that the plants down the side of the home are doing very, very well, and they're actually growing very tall. And I put some electromagnetic shielding up earlier this year when I realized that there was gas meters, and that's the shielding. And the last plant I wanted to show you is down here. So the plant here used to die, and I used to have to repeatedly put a new plant in, and that one would die. But this one seems to be doing very well since I took my wireless devices out of service and had the utility meter changed. And the utility meter is right there. So that utility meter used to be a transmitter, and now it's not. And the plant in this location is now growing. So I have to conclude that it was the transmissions out of the utility meter that were affecting it. So that's my garden. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I wish you the very best of health. Thank you.